Shalom and Yeshua bless you. So, I pray that you are doing blessed in Yeshua as you and keep your eyes on him and do what he says. And today I want to share with you the things Yahweh is telling me. Again, I know it will bless you. And there's just so much that's on his heart, and there will always be. And he will always share with his children all around the world if we incline to listen and care. I was praying, and Yahweh began speaking to me about what it means to be truly blessed and what it means to truly prosper. What does it mean to be blessed and what does it mean to prosper? And with that, there were many things he was saying, and I'll share this with you. And this is the way he started out. There's someone with little, and because they're thankful for everything they have, they've actually become wealthy and have gained much because they don't feel like they lack anything because they're thankful for everything. Now, there is also someone who has much and is not thankful. And because of that, they desire more because they always feel they lack something. Now, when you look at the two, who is the one that has more and who is the one that has little? It's actually the one that is thankful. And this is when you begin to understand what true prosperity is. True prosperity is not measured by how much or how little you have. True prosperity is measured by how thankful you are for whatever you have. Now, true thankfulness is, as my father, that Ezra, has taught me, and you will also find this in the Word. And I put this in another video about Job. He said, "The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. Blessed be his holy name." True thankfulness is when you are thankful for what he has given and what he has taken away. When you're thankful for the good that happens and for the bad that he allows, for what you have and what you don't have. When you are thankful, you're walking in true thankfulness. And this is when you will truly be blessed, and this is when you will truly prosper. Now, the word says, and this is about praise, it says, pray in the book of wisdom, praise is not seemly in the mouth of the sinner, because it is not sent to him of Yahweh. Now, if you understand what that is saying, it's saying that when you praise God with a true heart, that was because God gave you the ability to praise with a true heart. And that's the same with Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is actually a gift from God to you so that you will prosper in all things. And people don't realize that. They think that, again, to be blessed is measured in accumulation of things and things they can touch and things they can see. Even in the Christian body, accumulation of wealth in spiritual gifts. But Paul put it very clear to everyone that if you increase in spiritual gifts, it is no different than if someone is increasing in cars and in houses if you have not love. He said, if you don't have love, and love is not your goal, and love is not first, then it's absolutely nothing. You've become nothing. That's what happens when we put our eyes on accumulating more of the spiritual gifts. And this was the issue of the church of Corinthians. They were accumulating many gifts of the Ruach HaKodesh, but were actually envying one another and failing to love. So Paul said, if you have all these things, but you don't have love, you're nothing and have nothing. And this is why the word also says, whoever pursues love and righteousness will find prosperity and life. So true prosperity and true blessing can be measured, and truly is, when you have a heart of thanksgiving and a heart that pursues after love. That's what it means. Now, some people don't realize that blessings, again, is found in thanksgiving. It's not found in the multiplication of things that you have. That multiplication without the blessing can actually end up being a curse. And take greed, for example. There are many wealthy people, and it's not wrong to be wealthy, but if you're wealthy through the spirit of greed, they are ones that accumulate much more money, more things, more investments. But it does not mean that they are blessed, even if people may think so, because the word says it is harder for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of heaven than for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle. So God will allow, if greed becomes their God, God will allow them to gain more and more so that it becomes a curse and they never enter in if they choose not to serve the living God. If you want to be truly blessed, if you have much or if you have little, give thanks in everything. Now, I also want to add this too, about the difference between a blessing and how to measure a blessing. And a blessing is not measured by how much you have, not spiritual gifts, and not offices, and not spiritual offices, and not by the accumulation and multiplication of things. And I will show you in the word. It says here, and it's in another part of the New Testament also, that in and I said, by myself I have sworn, says Yahweh, for because thou hast done this thing, and hast not withheld thy son, thine only son, that in blessing I will bless thee, and in multiplying I will multiply thee. Now, and that was Genesis 22:16 to 18. Now, if you understand what God said here, he said, blessing I will bless you, and in multiplying I will multiply you. He showed a distinction between being blessed and multiplying. And that multiplication has to go along with the blessing. Multiplication without the blessing can actually become a curse. So what is truly the blessing? The blessing is to be thankful for the things you have. Thankful for the multiplication, and then it's truly a blessing. And people need to realize this. This is whether it is, again, spiritual gifts, or whether it's a car or a house or whatever it is. So if you get much, Yah expects much, especially a heart that is full of thankfulness. You know, one thing that my dad Israel had told me was thankfulness. When you're thankful to Yahweh for the things that you have, the things that you don't have, and also the things that he wants to give to you in the future. When you're thankful for these things, you actually move the hand of God quicker in your lives. Because if you remember, the word says, enter into his gates with thanksgiving, into his courts with praise, even before you make a request. So that means before anything, and this is what he desires, is that you're thankful. And when you're thankful, you're doing what God says, and you begin to move His hand faster in your lives. People, again, don't realize this. When Yah starts to change your heart and you have a heart that is full of thankfulness and thanksgiving, you realize that your requests to God become less, and what you'll find more on your lips is thanksgiving and praise. You find more of that. And it's not that you don't ask God for things, because He said, ask and you shall receive. But when you are more thankful, you realize how much you already have. And when you are thankful, He also gives you a discretion and discernment as to what you need to ask. Because at that point, when you're thankful, He changes something in you, so that you do not just ask for things that are out of a selfish heart or a selfish desire, but more in line with the desires of God. And again, to ask Yahweh for the things you need, is not selfish, but He knows what is a selfish desire and what is not in line with His will for you, because He only wants the best for His children. And He wants to save many souls, and they become His children. So that's what I want to share with you in this video. Be blessed, and I pray that blessed you as you listened. And shalom.